politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the beat. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty on the beat. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty on the beat. Mike and Marty.
Bellows Falls and Keene, and welcome to the feed. It's Mike and Marty. We're here today with George Grant, a respiratory care practitioner from Springfield Hospital. It takes me a while to get that out.
No, it's all right. A lot of words there.
If you were breathing better, it'd be easier for you to say.
If I were breathing better, I would be better at this. But first, local events with Marty.
Local events. So the audience should be super excited because coming to the Opera House on Friday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, not on Saturday, and I'll tell you why in a minute, is Song Sung Blue. Now, renowned movie critic Terry Obohosky has gone and seen Song Sung Blue. She said it was amazing. The audience was like belting the songs out at the end, and she wants to make sure she gets to see it here in town. So that, again, it's Friday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, starring Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson. And it's only here for the week, so yeah, it's one of those ones that kind of comes in quick.
Yeah,
And,
that's good.
and
I like
moves
those.
out. Yeah, I like them too, because then you get another movie. The classic movie Wednesday night is V for Vendetta. That is a Natalie Portman film. I think it was probably early in her career, and that is being sponsored by Friends Rise Up.
Oh,
I'm not sure. And just to put the bug in people's ear, I believe I saw on Facebook that next Wednesday's classic movie is in honor of Susan McNeil.
oh, really?
Who
Yeah,
we all,
recently passed. Yeah.
many people have seen her on Fact TV. She was very supportive of Fact. She was supportive of almost everything in town. Very active in bringing things to town, bringing events.
Yeah, she did
and-
Bellows Falls Has Talent, remember? Yeah, that was really
She
big.
was very active in the Pride events that happened, and she passed away this past weekend. So we just want to make sure we give a shout out to Susan and her family. And please do go to the movie next week to honor her. And the reason that Saturday night is not available to see Song Sung Blue is because you can see story songs of the 70s, featuring Harry Chapin, Cat Stevens, and Gordon Lightfoot. I don't think you could get any more quintessential 70s than those three. And I actually looked the gentleman up. His name is Tom Demina. So I looked him up, and I found a video that actually says songs of the 70s. And he's really good. It's really like he does the songs well. So that is happening at the Opera House. Tickets are available. Doors open at 6:30, shows at 7:30.
Great. So welcome, George.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's great you're here. Let's talk a little bit about pulmonary. You're going to have
Cardiopulmonary health.
Yes.
In a nutshell, cardiopulmonary is mainly your respiratory system, anything from your lungs to your airways. We try to develop plans as far as helping people with COPD, asthma, emphysema, things of that nature. A lot of people that we have are the older generations that were a lot of smokers, because it wasn't as bad back then, technically called. Now a lot more information's out about it, so a lot of the older population is suffering with the side effects of smoking most of their lives.
I think also in this particular town, there was a certain population that worked on the railroad back in the day. And so there was the kind of, what's it called, mesothelioma?
Yeah.
I think there was a certain amount of that.
And a lot of, like, in West Virginia areas, in Pennsylvania, you have the coal miners
So they
with the black lung. So, but yeah.
So to kind of put it into perspective for folks, for kind of what you do, if you've ever been in the hospital or had somebody in the hospital and they've gotten one of those little, what did you call it? This
Incentive spirometry.
Spirometry. Those little things where you blow the ball and you have to keep the ball in a certain place. That's the image of kind of what you're getting people to do. You're getting people to work their lungs.
Yeah, and that's one of the basic pieces of equipment that we have. It's just to help you. It's think about it as a gym for your lungs. Like you go to the gym and you do bicep curls for your arms, but this is for your lungs. Keeps them stronger, keeps them working, keeps them from sitting. With that being said, when you're not very active and your lungs aren't working very well, you develop what we refer to as atelectasis, and that's just when the parts of your lungs start to collapse because they're not getting used. So that's what that device is, to instill that functionality of your lungs and keeping them working and pushing themselves.
Right. So typically, you would see this after surgery, maybe?
Yep, absolutely. That's
I remember my dad had open heart surgery. And
yeah.
that was
Any kind of surgery is
yeah.
really, it's almost what we refer to as an order set. It just comes almost standard care because it does a lot of benefits for the lungs, especially after surgery. Like you said, you're not going to be as mobile. You're not going to be as active. A lot of sitting around waiting for your whatever operation happened to heal up. Yeah.
And like I think, because you talk about it breaks things up in your lungs, is that an important thing if somebody's had pneumonia that they should really?
Yeah, so that's another device we have, and that's what they refer to as, you'll hear it called an acapella, you'll hear it called a flutter valve. Flutter valve is more of a basic description of what it actually does. It's a little plastic pipe that looks like a whistle, and your whole goal is to blow through it as hard as you can. But with that being said, air you push through is actually get fluttered, hence the word flutter valve. And what that does is just keeps the air in your lungs moving around to help break up the condensate, the mucus or whatever you have inside the lungs that are kind of giving you a hard time breathing wise. So pneumonia is a perfect example of that. Yes.
I just think because sometimes maybe people don't think of that. Like, is that something? Like if you haven't been hospitalized for, I don't know, do you get hospitalized for pneumonia? If you you haven't been, should you seek out or try to do that kind of work afterwards? Talk to your doctor or?
Well, if you especially Springfield, I know for a fact that if you are admitted to the inpatient unit for Springfield Hospital, part of your discharge patient care plan will involve that piece of equipment. Just so when you leave, there's still recuperation that you need to do after the hospital stay, and that's part of what we will give the patients to continue with that.
I just think people need an understanding of how important that is.
It's very important.
Because it's not going to necessarily break up on its own, or will it break up?
Well, your body will eventually absorb it. Your body has chemicals inside of it that'll break up the mucus.
But you can help it?
You're going to expedite it,
Okay.
yes.
There we go.
Yes.
That's perfect. There's the term.
Yes.
Perfect term.
You're going to push it and help the body get rid of it that much faster.
Nice. So George, how did you end up at Springfield Hospital? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Long story. I was born in Sunapee, New Hampshire, raised in Sunapee, New Hampshire. In 1993, you're going to hear my age. I left for the military. I did 12 years in the Navy, got out of the Navy, jumped into the Army, did 10 years in the Army. Then once I retired, I came back and I still wanted to do something that helps people, and I still wanted to be something that's actively, involved in people, and something that really makes a difference in my opinion. Healthcare was that go-to for me. So I went to River Valley Community College, earned my respiratory degree there for an associate's degree at first. Did a little bit of work at Dartmouth College, Dartmouth Hospital, and then I applied for Springfield Hospital in 2020.
Oh, that was a good year to do that.
2020.
I'm sorry about respiratory therapy in 2020. Yikes.
Yeah, but I was working in the ED up at Dartmouth as a technician, so I was involved with the COVID, knew what we were getting into. Went to Springfield Hospital. I applied to a few different hospitals, and Springfield Hospital offered me the position. I went and tried it out, and I just love the critical access part of the hospital. Nothing against bigger hospitals, but you have more patient interaction in a smaller hospital. You get to talk to them, and you can relate with them, and the experience that I hope to give them is a little more comforting than just being stuck in a hospital.
Right.
You have somebody that actually comes in and cares, and the staff at Springfield is wonderful with that, as far as patient relating to the patients and trying to help them through a troubling time, depending on the degree of what you're in there for.
I always find it interesting because there's kind of a prevailing thought that whether good or bad, whether right or wrong, that Dartmouth is like the gold star, right? And I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying that what you just said, the personal care, that goes a huge way. That goes a long way when you're not feeling good. So it goes to a lot. And I think that is 100% what you get in a smaller hospital setting. You get the same quality, but you also get that personal touch. I have definitely been to Dartmouth when it feels like you're on a conveyor belt just going through.
Sure.
And have to, because they're high volume, right? So that's the whole thing. They have this many people that want to have this done. They're gonna have to pump you through. But when you're not, I mean, if you're talking about respiratory illness, you're not feeling good.
A lot of it is you're not feeling good, and a lot of it is, I mean, being a person, we need to breathe. And when you can't breathe, that induces other anxieties and other issues that you may not have known. So if you can't breathe, you're having an asthma attack, well, that is going to induce a panic attack. And have somebody there that can talk to you and say, hey, relax, we got it. We're here to take care of you. I think that goes a long way. Like
I think it does too. Tell us a little bit about this. This is actually timely that you're on because there seems to be an increase in stuff going around right now. So how is that affecting your volume? And
well, we've definitely seen a big increase in respiratory issues from a flu A, flu B, RSV, of course, and the good old-fashioned COVID. So
it seems so passé now.
You know, it's just like everybody was like, "Oh, I had the flu," and I was like, "Oh, I had COVID." You know, it's a big, you know. So anyway, there is a big influx with that coming around, and we're not quite sure because COVID's still fairly new, and there's not enough research that's been concreted yet to help us to get, you know, classify it as the flu. We know what the flu is. Boom, there's the flu. But then there's combinations of the flu and the RSV and the COVID. So there's a lot of issues with that being said. Springfield, we have a lot of great doctors in the ED that are worked through New York and Connecticut and New Jersey, and they'll come up and we're talking to them when they're working, and there's a big rise so far in the bigger cities, so it's going to come here eventually.
Right.
We're going to get it.
Yeah, I just saw like an info chart or something that the whole United States was covered, and Vermont was still in the low, but everybody around us
Not for
was
long. Yeah, not for long. It's coming around. It's and just to be able to help identify some of the factors that will lead to your hospitalization is
Yeah, well, there's a seasonal aspect too, isn't it? Like we're in the latter part of winter.
Sure.
People have been putting up with it for so long. The air's dry, wood heat, whatever. It just dries out the lungs. And
Well, I mean, I notice I'm one of those people where you have the heater on in the vehicle, and I have a 45-minute commute. So by the time I get to work, my nose is dry. By the time I get home, my nose is dry. So it's just that stagnant heat, like you said, and the temperature has a lot to do with the
amount of humidity in the air.
Yeah,
We've had this super cold.
and dry.
Yeah,
than a
yeah.
bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had snow, but the air is still dry.
Sure, and that helps to induce asthma attacks. The fluctuation in temperatures will do that. The inflammation of the airways will, so it's something that we're prepared for. We're ready to do it.
You're standing waiting. And
Between skiers and respiratory, we're full up at Springfield.
It's a good season for you.
It is.
Are there things from a respiratory therapy standpoint that people can do proactively?
There absolutely is. Number one is the big smoking and vaping. That's a big. Well, it's not so much bigger now. It was big a while back, but the vaping's kind of died down quite a bit, which is a good thing to see.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
But that's part of it, and then we offer what they refer to as a PFT. So a PFT is a pulmonary function test. So your doctors can have it done especially if you're having issues with seasonal allergies or breathing issues. Younger kids with sports-induced asthma, they'll have it tested, and it's a simple test. It takes about 45 minutes. You're going to breathe into a machine at different rates and different volumes, and what that does is helps us understand what kind of, if any, issues you have with your lungs. Some of them are restrictive, some of them are obstructive. So there's a lot of different factors that will contribute to that, and catching it early and understanding it early can help prevent it from, getting too bad later on in life.
I was just going to say, does it, if you catch it, does it mean that you can sustain a quality of life longer than if you didn't catch it?
Absolutely. Number one with COPD, it's irreversible. So once you have COPD, you're going to always have it forever. But there's a lot of new medications and a lot of great techniques that you can use in the medical field to keep it at bay. So you do have a longer and a better life expectancy. Quality of life would be a lot better when it's under control. We have a lot of, like I said, the older folks, the old generations, farmers, and that work in the industries, the factory workers, that railroad workers, like you were saying earlier, the stuff that they were breathing in
Because
wasn't all
back
that
then,
good.
I was gonna say, because back then there wasn't a lot of regulation,
Nobody-
and you just did it, right? You just did
you
that.
just turned your head and coughed and kept going. You know? and-
Exactly, because you had to.
Exactly. Yeah,
Turn
there
your
was
head.
not much choice. But yeah.
Interesting.
Hit the asbestos out of the way, light another cigarette.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's only asbestos dust.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. Oh, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
You got
No. Well, I was just thinking of a guy I used to know that we would go hiking, and I'd get short of. He would smoke to help his breathing.
there are that percentage of people where I don't want to condone it, but it just seems like smoking has no effect on them.
Oh, interesting.
It just, and then some people can have a cigarette and be out of breath for days, and other people just that's
Yeah,
what they do.
yeah,
And so I don't know the rationale behind it, but it's probably to genetics is honestly what it.
Oh,
Yeah, you're probably
probably.
right. Yeah.
I do remember my question. We were talking before the show about people and how they breathe.
Mm-hmm.
That there maybe just maybe we're not always breathing the right way. So
I'm not a betting man, but I would bet that 90% of the population does not breathe the right way.
I would take that back.
You
I'm
know,
guessing too, because I'm sure I'm one of them. So
Well, I mean, we're designed to breathe through the nose for a couple of reasons. It helps to induce blood flow to the brain because of all your glands and whatnot's up in your head and nose. But it's also a filtering system. It also regulates temperature. So when you're outside and you're breathing in through your nose, that cold air is not coming right into your lungs. It's going through the airway to warm it up before it gets to your lungs, which is also a part of keeping flare-ups from happening. But yeah, most people don't breathe the right way. But you should be breathing through your nose, and you should always have your inhale less than your exhale. So, but you always want to breathe out more. It gives your body that, because people think of breathing as getting air into their body, which is oxygen in their body, but 80% of breathing is getting the CO2 out of your body.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Because
so
if
that's
not,
why
you
so
get
the exhale is more important than the inhale in some ways.
in some ways, the CO2 buildup will instill what we refer to as an acid buildup. It's a chemical in your body that your body doesn't like, so it tries to get rid of it, and it does that through bicarb, but also the exhalation of your breathing. And that is probably the more important part of breathing, is getting rid of the waste
interesting.
than bringing in the
Interesting.
products. Because if you don't get rid of the waste, you can't bring anything in.
Right.
So
That's very interesting, because I guess in my mind I was thinking getting that oxygen in, like feeling the breath come in and expanding your lungs and the whole bit was kind of but getting the air out. I mean, there's also the calming effect of the exhale too.
It is.
On like the nervous
Yeah.
system and
yeah.
all that. Do
When
you have a recommended count? Like three counts in, 5 breaths out, or does it
depends
just
on
mean
the-
this longer?
Yeah, it just depends on the person. Some people that are athletic, most people will breathe between 12 to 18 times in a minute. Some people that are athletic will breathe, 8-10 times a minute because their body's just used to that.
Right.
And some people that aren't the healthiest will be breathing like 20-25 times a minute. So your body's going to regulate that on your own. So whatever's comfortable, that would be my recommendation. It's the reason why we can hold our breath, because if you hold, Kate Winslow just did a movie, I forget what, and I read she just did the new record for holding her breath for 7 minutes underwater.
Really?
In that movie, she beat Tom Cruise on holding the breath.
Wow.
I'm not sure what movie it was, but because your body will still pump the blood around that has oxygen in it. So you still have that reserve. So that's why you can hold your breath so long.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to see how many. Can you just? Is there a way you can just you just set a timer for 1 minute and breathe normally and count what your normal breath rhythm is? That fascinates me actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
When you go get your next physical, that usually when they hook you up, it measures respirations too.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Is there a strive to do? You were saying someone that's athletic. Is that a measure of your fitness level to be breathing less?
it's pretty much based off of your body's demand. So as an athlete that runs or whatever they do, their body is in tune to getting what they're getting at that rate of high speed. So when they're not needing that energy, so much energy, the body calms down, so they don't have to have that much. But if you're
A desk jockey.
yeah, well, I'm doing that now too myself.
Me too.
Yeah, your body's going to tell you how to do it, and there's exercises you can probably do depending on your physical fitness levels. A lot of times, they tell you like when you're stressed out, you breathe, and relax, and but your body's going to tell you what it really wants.
Interesting. Just curious.
So we talked before, and you said you get referrals from primary care physicians, and people come in for treatment.
Yep.
But if a person, what symptoms would a person look at to talk to their primary care provider to say, oh, maybe I should, to trigger that? Well, maybe I should be going to see someone.
Yeah. If you're, having a hard time breathing when you're not inducing any exercise. If you're running, then you're going to be breathing faster. It just makes that much sense. But if you're actually breathing faster just to be normal, then that's a bad sign.
That's a big sign.
If you're like a lot of times, springtime mainly will have a lot of younger people come in because they haven't been really doing much exercise during the wintertime. It's been cold. Nobody's going to go outside and do it. But then all the spring sports start up, all the activities start up, and they're having a hard time breathing. And sometimes it's referred to as sports-induced asthma, where their body's not quite caught up yet. Most of the times it'll fade by summer or sometimes like that. But if you're feeling like dizzy or you're having a hard time breathing, you're apt to get pneumonia a lot. Those are kind of some indications of coming and seeing.
So you should go to your PCP first?
Yeah, your PCP. Well, I mean, depending on the severity of it. But yeah, if you went to see your PCP, talk about what you're feeling, have a kind of like a diagnosis done of like, and then they're like, well, PFT would probably be okay. It's just additional information. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's like, wow, we need to do something about it. And it's just one of those checkups, honestly, and if you do have like a respiratory issue like asthma or COPD, it's recommended to have it done every 2 years so we can see how well your body is doing to maintain the levels that you had. So, and it's like about a 45-minute.
And then you do that at the hospital?
We do. We just got a new piece of equipment to do that. It's a spirometry type of device, but different than the one we were talking about.
not the one with the little ball.
And then it shows you the lung strength, how much volume you could get, and a bunch of different things your lungs are doing. And what it does is it takes what you would have comparatively to your age, your weight, your height, things like that, and what is predicted, and see how close you get to what's predicted. And it helps us give an idea of maybe some respiratory medication is going to be good for you, or maybe you'll grow out of it in a year or two if you're a younger kid or something. So,
well, that was an interesting aside. I was thinking it's almost like physical therapy. Most of the interventions you do are physical, but there are medications that. Do you recommend them, or does the doctor then say? I mean, you do a test, and then you give the doctor the results, basically, and then the doctor can then prescribe from there, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a whole slew of different kind of medications out there, but they're geared towards different ailments. So asthma has one type of medication, COPD will have another type of medication, emphysema will have another type of medication. So so it all depends on what the results indicate, what kind of lung ailments you may be having.
Okay. So we are down to just about a minute.
Okay.
So let's just recap. If anyone has any questions or they're concerned about their respiratory therapy, first step PCP.
Yeah.
If it's really bad, ED. And then they would be probably a pulmonary function test, and then you'd go from there.
Yeah, it depends on what the results were. But yeah, I mean, if you're just having issues breathing and it's just nonstop, PCP, talk to them, and they'll more than likely recommend a PFT. And then if you're having an issue and you come into ED, of course you're going to get medications to subside what's happening. And then a follow-up PFT would probably be recommended by the physician there also.
And we just had all the contact information for Springfield Hospital
Yeah.
up on the stage. And if you do go home with one of those little machines, you should really use it because it sounds like you really.
It's
it's
very
important.
beneficial.
People think it's no big deal probably because it doesn't seem like you're doing much, but it seems like.
You are actually doing more than you think, and I'll tell people that I know it's a nuisance, but if you're sitting there watching TV, every commercial that comes on, just do it twice. Put it back down. Next commercial twice. What do you do in the commercials
That's a good
anyway?
way to do it. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Better than going and
Right.
getting a cigarette.
Well, yes, absolutely.
Well,
All right,
we are out of time. Thank you, George,
Well,
for coming
thank you
on.
for having me. I
Very
appreciate it.
informative.
It was
All
awesome.
right. See
Bye,
you next
Canadians.
week.
I got